Hey guys, it's Ping here at Lake Elsinore Motorsports Park, and today we're getting our first ride on the 2022 Honda CRF450. A couple of changes this year for this bike. We got our good buddy Don Upton is going to do the riding for us. You might be familiar with him if you're a fan of racing in the 90s. This guy was the king of Paris Raceway, beat all of us handily out there. I'm working through a little bit of a shoulder injury, so he's going to do the riding for us today. And we've got, along with our videographer, we've got some cool GoPro footage we're going to be showing you guys. For those of you who aren't familiar with the 22 Honda, only a couple of changes. If you saw the 2021 or are familiar with that, it had some mapping issues down low, a little bit of a gurgle, and then the suspension settings were a little soft. So for 22, they've just addressed those two things. Basically, the updated map you could get halfway through 21 is what comes standard in the 22 now, and there's updated suspension settings. So that suspension issue last year and the mapping as well were sort of the two big knocks against the Honda. So coming into 22, the question is, we know the mapping fixed it, but how'd that suspension work out, and how good is it? Is it still off? So Don, we'll turn to you on that. First of all, give me your just general impression of the bike, and what have you been riding?
Well, I ride a CRF450 2020. First thought, it was nice and pretty stable. Power was really good. Brakes were really good. It did have a little twitch. We did some adjustment on the suspension, and that kind of alleviated that, and definitely doesn't have any of that gurgle on the low coming out of the corners.
So the mapping was definitely cleaned up.
It was good, and I rode mainly the stock, just the stock. None of the other
maps.
None of the other maps, just the stock one.
So you mentioned you had a little bit of a nervous feel. The bike was originally at 100 millimeters of sag, but it had never been ridden. So we kind of just started with that. When we came in and checked it, it was still at 100, so we dropped that to 105, and I'll let you talk about it, but it sounds like that cured our issue.
Yeah, prior to fixing the sag, there was a little nervous, twitchy feeling on getting on the gas really hard. Once we lowered that rear, that little bit, just smoothed out the taking off and acceleration, out of corners.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe we don't emphasize this enough, or it's something I should drive home every video, but make sure your sag numbers are right. Go back to our race spec videos if we've done them on that particular machine, which we're trying to get to all of them, but figure that, whatever that is, if it's 105 or some of them are 103, 106, find out what a good starting point is and just make sure you're there, because we changed it, 3 or 4 millimeters, and it was a night and day change on the feel of the bike in a positive way. Now so if you're not enough sag or too much sag, it just changes the balance and it totally throws off the way the thing works.
Absolutely, because it almost felt stink bug at first, then it got to where it felt normal, level.
And that stink bug will make that front end nervous because you got too much weight on it, so it fixed it right away.
Yeah, and then I tightened up the front and stiffened up 2 clicks, and that was just right on point.
What you were looking for. So the suspension itself, not a great day to test suspension. There was, I think maybe 2 or 3 other guys on the track with you all day.
Solo.
Pretty quiet day out here at Elsinore, but so not a lot of bumps. But from what you can feel, how does it seem to be working?
Oh, corners are really good. I love them. Love the bike. It handles really stable through the corners. No other suspension issues. I didn't feel any kicking. Right through this roller section here, there was a couple times where the front end bottomed the clickers, fixed it right up. Other than that, it was really smooth coming into the corners and exiting the corners. I felt it made me feel confident. Just I could put it anywhere I wanted to.
And that's kind of the feel this chassis gives you. It's a very nimble, stable, and it likes to corner, this chassis. It really does like to corner.
I felt that.
After today, I would say is still not certain is how is this suspension valving? When it gets really rough, Glen Helen in the afternoon, are you scared for your life, or is it actually working pretty well? It's going to take us a little more riding on this thing to know that for sure. We do have our 450 shootout coming up here soon, so that's going to be where the rubber meets the road for all these bikes, and we'll be able to get multiple opinions on multiple tracks with all the bikes. So that'll be fun, and hopefully you can join us for that. But anything else? Brakes, clutch, was there anything else that stood out, or did everything just feel pretty nice?
Everything was really good, exactly the way I would want it. good overall bike. Great overall bike.
Honda does a pretty good job of always just feeling comfortable. You know, you get on it, nothing feels really out of place.
Yeah, it felt. I mean, I didn't even move the levers today. It was just right.
All right. Well, hey, thank you guys for watching. We are, like I said, we're looking forward to getting more time on this bike. The shootout's going to really be the good test, because we can go back to back with multiple riders, a couple different tracks. So stay tuned for that. We appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you soon.